Fuck the Christ. Hi, this is Krabathor, and we send greetings to all the listeners of What's Metal program. Well, I'm Bruno. I play the bass guitar in the metal band Krabathor.
How long are you on tour now for this tour, and what do you think of your support bands?
Well, as this tour is near to finish, we are on the road near to 3 weeks. I'm not sure about, but it is the 17th gig tonight. And about the support bands, if you mean Groinchurn and Sanity's Dawn, it's cool people, and I like their music. Especially, I didn't know too much the music of Sanity's Dawn, but when I watched a couple of shows, so I have to say that it's a really good band, and they look really good on the stage. And also Groinchurn, I'm a fan of Groinchurn. I know them for a long time, so it's I'm pretty glad that I can tour with just this band, because we keep the good atmosphere here on the tour, and that it's the prime point to have good atmosphere on the tour.
Krabathor are around for a very long time now. What can you tell us about the beginning of the band?
It's too long time ago. I don't know. It was like with any other band. We just started as a 15, 16 years old boys. So we just like to play the band. It was fun for us, and during the time we recorded a couple of demo tapes. We got the contract to record first 2 albums, and it's probably something like our fate. So we are possessed to be in a band and to do as much as we can for a band. It doesn't matter the money or the spare time or something like that. Just Krabathor is for us the first place in our life. So we spend anything for Krabathor, and we are happy that Krabathor has a lot of fans, and our music is likable to other people, and we are just satisfied. It makes us happy.
In 1988, you released 3 demo tapes within 1 year. How was that possible?
It was actually in 4 months. The first demo we recorded with the stuff written just 1 year before, and with this demo we got quite a lot of positive reviews, but it was the old stuff, and just we prepared a couple of songs with the new stuff, so we decided to release 2 months after new demo with newer songs. It was the demo called Total Destruction, and 2 months after I've got I don't know how to say it in English, but the paper from the soldiers that I need to go to a military service. So we decided to record even the 4 or 5 new songs we had more as a mini demo, and to make it something like goodbye for our fans, because we just had to split up for a couple of months.
Is the stuff from these demos still available somewhere, besides the tunes on Mortal Memories?
No. I think it's not a good idea to spread them more, because the sound quality is really crap. We didn't record in the studio; we just recorded in the rehearsal room on the stage in a small culture house. So the first demo actually plays in one speaker. It's no of these demos is stereo or anything like that. So the way how we try to put the songs on now is that we try to record them again. Of course, not all the songs, but a few of them, as for example Imperator on the Lies CD, or for example 3 songs on the Mortal Memory CD. It's Breath of Death, Bestial War, and Apocrypha. So we just like those songs, and maybe we'll record some more songs from the old times even for the future. But we don't expect that we will spread the old demos anymore.
Wasn't it difficult for you to play in a metal band in the 80s? Didn't you have any problems with the state in that time?
Yeah, we got troubles with the secret police and with government and with communists, but I wouldn't say that it was hard. Like for example, some older bands, for some bands with the members older 5, 6, 7 years than we are, so they got a real help from them, I would say. And when we just started to play, it was 1985, 86, 87. So it was in the stadium that we were in the garage, and we performed our song material, just not live, just only a rehearsal room. So we didn't get any troubles with the regime. But the 1 year before, the last year before the revolution, when we started to play live a little bit, we got some troubles with the government that we have been forbidden, and they talked to us that we are a satanic band and we are a fascist band and we are dangerous to society and dangerous to government, so on. So that's the way. What I didn't like, for example, my mail came to me, opened, all the letters were opened, many for the demos were stolen, and also my military service was because I've not been the serious person for a communist regime, and it's maybe a little bit because of the band. So we got a little bit troubles with communist regime, but I would say that some bands have got much harder before.
And what can you tell us about the metal scene in your home country? Are there any other cool bands?
Of course there is a lot of good bands, but in general I would say it's the same like in any other countries. There is a lot of bands who try to play good music, who try to play trendy music. It's really hard to say because there is so many bands and so much of stuff that I'm just not in anymore. So I care mostly about Krabathor, but I would recommend some cool bands like Pandemia or Skabart, or I don't know at this moment what to say, but there are really cool bands. Maybe the time will tell if any of these bands will prove anything in the West Europe, maybe in the world, but it's in their hands.
And how popular are Krabathor in the Czech Republic?
I don't know. It's not good when the bands say about ourselves that they are good or something like that. So it's hard for me to say what position has Krabathor in Czech Republic, but we have always been in the good position in Czech Republic. We sold a lot of releases. We sold a lot of CDs. For the first album was, I think, 16,000 just for Czech Republic and Slovakia, and for the second CD was about 8,000. And maybe if you check out some charts in Czech Republic, in Czech magazines, we are nearly to be the place number 3, 2, sometimes number 1. So we are satisfied. It's good for us, and we got a lot of support from the Czech fans. So I would say that Krabathor is quite popular now in Czech Republic.
Do you know any amounts of CDs you sold of the Lies output?
Nobody knows that. We even didn't check it out for Mobile Records, but there is a couple of licenses in Poland, Lithuania, Bulgaria, Czech Republic and Slovakia. So nobody knows that exactly, but in my opinion, my personal count is about 16,000 all in all, including all the licenses. That's my opinion. I'm not sure about it.
I know that you're on the road very often, and how can you combine this fact with your normal jobs, if you have any?
It's quite hard. Of course that we need to have a jobs because we need to survive somehow. So sometimes we need to work more hours in a month, and then we take it off for a gig. So sometimes we need to take a holiday. So when the tour is, it's quite hard to get 3 days, but we have to work it out somehow. Till now, it's quite okay.
While you're on tour, you already have been in a lot of different countries. And are there any differences between the fans?
Just a little difference, in my opinion. That metal fans are almost the same everywhere. Maybe there is the little difference in temperament, but if the people like the metal music and they have interest to listen to metal bands, so they look almost everywhere the same, I would say.
What was your biggest gig until now, and what was the worst one?
We enjoy every gig we play. The biggest show probably, it was last year. The festival in Budapest, in capital of Hungary. It was a big festival, and there was 8 stages, and it was for 6 days. The festival is called Pepsi Cigarette, and they sold for all 6 days. They sold 300,000 tickets. But actually, when we played, there was a few hundred people in front of us. But on the stage where was the most people in front of the stage was 1992 in Czech Republic in Starý Kolín. It was big festival, 3 days festival. There was 20,000 people. So, and the worst one, I don't know. Maybe on this tour in Terneuzen there was 4 tickets sold. Just 4. It's not easy to play for 4 people, but anyway, the people who pay for the ticket, they want to see what they normally would see, so the set have to be normal.
Okay. In a magazine, I think it was the German rock hard magazine, I read that your bass guitar has been stolen at some gig somewhere in Germany. Have you ever got it back?
No, never. I please all the people, if anybody would see my bass guitar, please give a call to me or to Morbid Records, because I still miss this guitar and was quite expensive instrument for me. I paid over 1,000 German marks for it. And it was stolen in the Freirut in ex-East Germany. I was 2 years ago on the tour with Impel Nazarene. It was the black Ibanez Contemporary Series bass guitar, active electronic, and this was good instrument for me. I still miss it, really.
We'll search for this one. Okay. Now, perhaps.
If you have interest, I have a serial number somewhere here. I still bring it with me.
Perhaps now to the happier stuff. What was the funniest thing that happened to Krabathor on this tour?
Wow, so I don't know. We just keep it fun between the bands with Groinchurn and Sonitis down with the Morbid Records guys. So I can't remember all the funniest thing, but it's just permanent fun, I would say. We enjoy it.
Krabathor has this typical mascot, this 3-horned skull. What can you tell us about this thing and its history?
Yeah, you are right. That's typical symbol for us. It was created by Christopher when he founded Krabathor 12 or 13 years ago, and our ex-bass player Necron, 8 years ago or 7 years ago, just made a new face of this symbol. So we started to use it everywhere together with the logo and on each release, and I personally like it. And I have to say that anybody, if they see this 3-horn skull, they will say, well, that's Krabathor, and that's good point of it. We like it.
You're licensed now to, oh no, you have a contract with Morbid Records. Are you satisfied with their work?
Of course, we are very happy with Morbid Records because we worked with them almost 3 years, and I have to say that this is the first label in my life I've been in touch with that really supports the band, who cares first place about the band, who tries to do as much as they can for a band, and they have quite good contacts worldwide. They have good distribution for us. So Morbid Records is just the label what we were looking for a long time in the past. So we aren't satisfied with Monitor Records at all, and when we check out the Morbid Records, we were very happy, and we still are.
You in the last years you had several drummers. Why?
Just personal problems. You know, if you have to work in a band together as a team, it's not only recording, it's not only the gigs. It's a long time together, to be in rehearsal room together, to be on the roads together, to be in the studio and everywhere. So that was just kinds of personal problems and style problems. Maybe some of our ex-members didn't like the style we wanted to play, and wanted to bring the Krabathor to the other case or something like that. So I have to say that only just Christopher and me, as like oldest members of Krabathor, have the right to rule with Krabathor. So we never agreed with the situation like happened in the past, so we had to kick the old members out. But now I have to say that we have quite a good drummer. His name is Cool, and he plays with us 2.5 years, and he's just really good musician and a cool friend of us. So finally, that's one of the best lineups we ever had, maybe really the best one.
And even throughout all these years, you still work with the same manager. And who is this guy?
Well, it's an old friend of us. He works with us near to 7 years. He's quite older than we are. He's near to 40 years old, but he lives the way of life like we live. He's just maybe the same age like we have among us, you know. So first point of him that he's really crazy. His ideas I would never do personally, because he has a courage to do the really crazy things, and he helped to Krabathor a lot. And without him, would be Krabathor maybe half part or maybe even smaller. It was really big luck for us that we met Peter Heitmaning, and he's, in my opinion, one of the best manager I've met ever, because it's not kind of the businessman who sit in the office with a suit and tie and by the phone and don't care about the band, just needs some profit. He's still on the road with us. He is almost on every gig with us. He lives the life as we live, and so it's like a member of the band. So that I would say that we do management by ourselves. Yes, we have manager, but he's just a member of Krabathor. He's a very cool guy.
In the booklet of of the live CD, you used the logo of the swastika, and it seems to be put together with one arm Jesus or something. And, why did you use this sign?
It's maybe mostly my personal, not the problem, but my personal idea. I'm strongly against the religions. I don't like religions, and in my opinion, there is 20th century, and this is a century of clever people and development on technical side, industrial side. The big development of science and everything. And I still can't believe that there is a lot of people who just believe, in my opinion, in fairy tales, in the thing that never happened, in my opinion, and if happened, they never been holy or something like that. So I just don't like the people who used to go to the church and to pray to the God and to tell to me, yes, behave like that because God see you and God like that. Fuck this shit, because I don't like it. And I also very hate the fascists. It's really dangerous, especially here in Germany now. The new neo-Nazis actually don't realize what they do. They never studied the problem. They've never been in concentration camps, and they behave very aggressive. So these two hates I put together. I made the sign of Jesus Christ, or symbol of Jesus Christ, together with swastika, and this for me the proof of biggest hate, to put the Jesus and swastika together, because Jesus for me means the fascism. Religions, Christianity for me means the fascism, because it's a very dangerous religion. It's all the same with the fascism as well.
Yes, when I first saw it, I really was shocked in the first moment, because I thought, oh no, Krabathor can't be a fascist band or something, and I really couldn't make out this Jesus Christ at first view, and also when I read this history that is printed in the Lies booklet, I really could imagine what you meant with this, but at the first view I thought this is very narrow-minded to use these two symbols in one thing, and because there even is no sentence on this page that is really against it.
Yes, I understand what you mean, but maybe it was a little bit mistake that we didn't write any sentence by it, but I have to say that we are strongly against. It was mentioned more like against Christianity as against the fascism. For me, it was like that Jesus Christ or Christianity means the fascism for me. But I have to say that we are against the fascism very much, and I prepared for the new album song called Shit Comes Brown. It's a pure grindcore song, just 1 minute, and this against the new neo-Nazis and new neo-fascists. And the meaning is that shit is brown. And the Nazis used to wear the brown jackets, So brown is for me the same shit, And there is this sentence in the lyric of this song that when the fascists go on the toilet, they would need to sit upside down because they have a shit in the head and the brain in the ass, So that's maybe finally the proof that we don't agree with fascism at all. We refuse the fascism. It was wrong. It was wrong like communism or like religion. So there is no place for the fascism, for religions, and for communism in this century. I'll be always against all this stuff.
In this Lies booklet, there also is a photo. I think it's you and yes, a guitar player, who are hanging upside down from a tree or something. What's the story behind this photo?
It was the idea to make all the photos for the last album upside down, but final results wasn't too good to us, so we just used this photo only as a background for the biography. So the ideas was good, but the results were not so good.
And what can we expect of your next full length?
Orthodox death metal.
How do you see the status of death metal in today's heavy metal scene?
You know, maybe death metal is not so big trend like a couple of years ago, but anyway, there are still very strong bands as Malevolent Creation, Vader, Sinister, Bolt Thrower, D-Side, Morbid Angel, Cannibal Corpse. So I'm not scared about the future of death metal. I know that if there are good bands who play good music, still will be here the fans who listen to this music, and I would say that death metal is not going down at all. Maybe now is the time when I feel when it goes a little bit up, and that's my wish to bring death metal a little bit again on the sun place or something like that. I don't know how to say it, but you know, the music is always changing. There are always coming some trends or something like that, but the good remains. Good always remains, and so that's the reason why I'm not scared about the future of the metal. Of course, the same as about the future of heavy metal, because in my opinion, death metal belongs to the heavy metal style. Black metal, death metal, grindcore, it's all for me heavy metal style. So I'm sure that this music will survive.
And what does the word heavy metal mean for your life?
Long hair, distorted guitars, loud music. It's a way of life. When I remember the old times of heavy metal 10 or 15 years ago, it was very spontaneous, and it made people really happy. And at this moment, the music comes more to the technical side. Everybody and everything needs to be perfect, the sound and musician and so on. So the most happy feeling maybe is not so strong like a couple of years ago, but for me, heavy metal means my way of life, as for everybody in Krabathor.
What's the origin of the name Krabathor, I wonder?
You know, we used in the past a few names for a band, and actually we didn't like no one of these names. And once I watched one Czech TV fairy tale, and then there was the guy called Krabat. And I liked the word, just I offered to the rest of the band, okay, let's call us Krabat. But Christopher told me, hey, I've heard that there is some band called Krabat as well. So let's call us Krabathor. And it was 1987 year, I think, 1987. So it remained like this, and just when we were back from military service in 1991, we just put the one letter H in it, just as a sign of the new era, because we were back from military service and we started to play more blues music as before we played more thrash metal, and now we started to play more death metal music. So as a sign of new era, we started to use H in it, and anyway, it looks more English, Krabathor, but the meaning of this word is like nothing. Is it just war game or something like that? But we like this word, and for us, Krabathor means our band and our records, so our way of life. And I would say that we can be happy that we have quite original name, because if you will choose the name what has any meaning in English, there is probability sometimes that there can be band with the same or similar name, and I'm almost sure that there's gonna be no more Krabathors in the world. So that's all.
When can we expect the re-release of your first two CDs?
There are the problems with the X-label. Our label Morbid Records has a big interest to release these first two albums as a double CD, but our X-label wants incredible a lot of money for it, and Morbid Records is not able to pay for it. But we are just studying the rights and studying the old contracts, and in my opinion the contracts are over at this moment. So We have to work it out with the lawyers, and when we will see that contracts are gone, contracts are over, so immediately we will give the rights to Morbid Records to release it again. So it needs a time, and I very hope that it happened, that our first albums will be released again, but I don't know when, because we just have to work out the rights with ex-label Monitor Records, and so that's the business behind.
Okay. Do you have any final comments or something?